Hey everyone! So in this video, I wanted to talk about incidents where Fanties have made actual people in the entertainment industry the target of their harassment campaigns. Fanties usually harass just regular people in fandom, like fan artists and writers, who are in fandom as a hobby and just live in their life and draw an art of their favorite characters and ships. But they've also gone after professionals in these industries too. One incident I'll mention briefly is one I've spoken about before in my recent video recapping what Fanties did in 2020. One day, Bryan Fuller, the creator of Hannibal, left a reply on some Not Safe for Work Hanagram fanart, and Fanties got really upset at him for it. In real time, we all watched Fanties switch the goalpost from Bryan, it's inappropriate for you to comment on Not Safe for Work art of characters who are played by actors you hired, to Bryan, the artist who made that art is a literal pedo because they're pro-ship, and many Fanties even making homophobic comments toward him because of it. In this case, Fuller didn't budge and he seemed largely unaffected by the hate mob, and he even came to the defense of artists and artistic expression.
This next one I'll also just briefly mention because it happened in the Voltron fandom and we all know how that fandom is like. I could and probably will one day make a video on this fandom alone. I mean, this is the fandom where fan strippers blackmailed the animation studio and sent death threats to most of the staff and more, so it's a lot. In the description I'll maybe link to a few videos of others talking about the Voltron fandom, but I did want to mention one incident. So a quick backstory if you've been living under a rock. A very popular ship in this fandom is Sheath between Shiro and Keith, and is one of the very early Patient Zero examples of modern day anti-shipping because Fanties hate this ship and call it both the P-word and incest. But anyways, one day David Guider, the lead writer for the Dragon Age games, tweeted about how he was watching Voltron Legendary Defender and how he really liked Sheath. Anti-shippers went after him, and thankfully he didn't care and he also seemed unbothered. Again, I can make a whole video about this, and if I do, I'll go more in depth there, so I will save the details of this story for a rainy day.
Other instances of this usually don't involve creators as big as Bryan Fuller though. They usually involve storyboard artists or writers or voice actors who are definitely more vulnerable targets because they don't have the same power that a veteran showrunner with multiple shows under his belt has. Because of this, I'm going to be vague when I talk about these next incidents because I'm sure these people don't want this nonsense following them in their career more than it already has. I know it's already been immortalized on Twitter and call-out posts, but I don't want to further immortalize it in a YouTube video. So I'm going to hide their usernames and I won't say their full names, but I'll still provide enough info about who these people are so that the story is easy to follow. The first incident I want to talk about happened in the Genshin Impact fandom and involved a voice actor. This actor retweeted fanart of the characters Diluc and Kaeya. There is discourse surrounding shipping these two characters because Fanties claim that it's incest. Literally a big chunk of anti-shipping drama in this fandom is because of this ship. To give a too long didn't read, one character was adopted by the other character's father, but the original game translation describes them as being sworn brothers, which is a big thing in Chinese culture and stories. I'll link to a Twitter thread or two in the description about it for y'all to read if you want, but all you need to know is that Antis hate this Kailuke ship because they interpret it to be incest. So this voice actor retweeted this art, clearly just some cute AU type thing where one of the characters is a child. It's totally safe for work and innocent. I see this trope often in Asian fandoms where an artist turns one character into a child version of themselves and draws them interacting with the other character. You can think it's weird if you want, personally I think it's really cute, I have no issue with it, but a lot of people did and they accused the voice actor of being an incest apologist and a pedophile. It stemmed from one kid making a call-out post about the VA, and then this poor VA logged onto Twitter and essentially had to do damage control and address it. I want to emphasize that this man's crime, quote unquote, was retweeting fan art of characters from the video game that he's in. He didn't do anything wrong. He doesn't even ship the characters, and even if he did ship it, that would not warrant a call-out post in an attempt to get this man fired from his job. The VA seemed rattled after this, understandably so, and expressed that incidents like this are why actors are so hesitant to interact with online fandoms.
And while we're talking about the Genshin Impact fandom, Fanties have also obsessively tagged the official Twitter for the game because they retweeted Kailuke fanart once. Clearly, the social media team running the Twitter account doesn't know about shipping discourse or doesn't care. They just wanted to share art made by fans and that's it. And it's just kind of funny that Fanties were angrily adding the account and accusing them of normalizing incest and yelling at them to unretweet it.
The next person who is subjected to Fanties being little busybodies is a cartoonist and writer for a couple American animated shows, including The Owl House. She's got a pretty big following on Twitter and seems to be really well liked. She retweeted this fan art of Kuzco and Pacha from the Disney film Emperor's New Groove, and this discourse was really just unreal to watch. I saw this art myself on my timeline. I thought, oh, I hadn't considered that shit before, that's cute. And I retweeted it and I went to bed. And then I woke up the next day to people making call-out posts about this particular piece of fan art. They were saying that it's pedophilia because of the age gap. Kuzco is 18, he turns 18 at the start of the movie, and Pacha is apparently 45, a fact that's only known because of a documentary about this film. As soon as Fanties realized that this ship had an age gap, they started replying to this art with screenshots of the characters' Wikia pages to inform people about the age gap. I can make a whole video about this nonsense because Fanties were just so hung up on the age gap that they forgot about the fact that Kuzco is literally the emperor to Pacha, so he's got the abuse of power when you flip it in that manner. So this is just a really perfect example of how arbitrary shipping is because these characters are malleable and anything goes. But anyways, once Fanties realized the true age gap of the ship, they started going after people who retweeted this art, including the cartoonist. Fanties tagged her in posts en masse to ask, "Hey bestie, wanna explain why you retweeted this?" There were dozens of replies like this toward this one person alone. It was really super creepy and obsessive. They pounced on her for it, and they were so quick to insinuate that she was a pedophile, or they were angry at her for retweeting it and making them uncomfortable, which is really peak entitlement, honestly. This person retweeted the most tame, safe-for-work art of an obscure fan-in-ship of Disney characters, and the age gap probably never even crossed her mind. I know it didn't cross my mind at all. This writer did end up caving to the hate mob and unretweeted the art and apologized. I don't know if she really agrees with Fanties or if she just complied with their demands to get them off her back. And if that's the case, I honestly don't blame her one bit, because if she had tried to argue what's wrong with y'all, I dislike the fan art, they would have torn her to shreds. This next incident is a more ongoing one, and it's what prompted me to make this video. It's also another one that I spoke about briefly in my 2019 recap video, the situation that I so eloquently titled the Amphibia thing. This involves someone who's a writer and storyboard artist who's worked on many animated TV shows, including the Disney Channel cartoon Amphibia. Back in July of 2019, she drew this art of two of the characters, Grimes and Sasha. Sasha is a human and Grimes is a frog. In the art, Grimes is carrying Sasha bridal style or princess style, and they're both blushing. To me, it looks like he caught her falling in his arms and they're both embarrassed by the situation. And just to avoid confusion, the who drew this caption is from the artist herself. Clearly, she's just being silly and joking around. She continued to joke around in the replies with a coworker joining in, playfully calling her a pervert and the artist agreeing. I see nothing wrong with this exchange at all. It's clear that they're just fooling around. I joke around like this with my friends if we talk about two characters doing something wholesome like holding hands with a joke like, "Oh my god, so perverted." And the joke is that it's innocent. It's a joke. Especially when it involves fictional characters, it's just all good fun and a harmless joke. But of course, the anti-fun brigade didn't see it like that, and they accused the artist and her coworker of being pedophiles. It escalated into this whole situation where people even made a hashtag called Not Just a Drawing to voice their disgust with art of fictional characters like this. I'll link to my 2019 recap video of this just so you can see more examples, but basically it was a whole mess and very unnecessary. Now, why is this the incident that prompted me to make this video if this happened in 2019? Because it's been brought up yet again a year and a half later. This artist has just been living her life, continuing to post art on Twitter, and someone recently brought it up again. They made a call-out post saying that the artist ships Grimes and Sasha, which led to other posts saying she's a pedophile. The kid who made this call-out post even spread rumors that she's been fired for it, which at this point, that's when the Affirmation co-worker joined the discussion to clarify that all of that was a rumor and she was amazing to work with. Unfortunately, all this did was put a target on his back as well. Fanty started calling him a pedophile too and claimed that he was defending pedos on the staff. They also brought up his joking comments from before again. This is currently an ongoing situation. This just happened 2 days ago for me recording this. Nonetheless, Fanties will still try to paint these two animation industry people as pedophiles because Fanties truly believe that shipping these two characters is a pedophilic act, and I can't begin to tell you how asinine that is. This feels like something out of the Twilight Zone. It is a cartoon frog, princess carrying a cartoon girl. Why in the world are people calling this drawing pedophilia and trying to slander these people over it? I cannot wrap my head around this. Even if someone legitimately shipped these two characters, who cares? They are fictional characters. It is fiction. This is all fiction. This isn't worth all this drama, and that's all it is. This is drama. These drawings of fictional characters are not a serious threat or indication of anything dangerous or harmful. If these ships make someone personally uncomfortable, that's perfectly fine. But people need to stop with the serious allegations over art of fictional characters. I feel ridiculous even having to talk about this, but there are people out here with their whole chest talking about how retweeting this ship is condoning incest, or drawing that ship is pedophilia, or defending these animators is defending pedos. One of these days, someone is going to accidentally lose their job over a misunderstanding because of Fanties, and I really hope that they sue for defamation. These are just a few of the major incidents that have happened to some of the bigger names who are active in fandom. In addition to this, there's other cases every so often where a smaller industry artist or animator has a call-out post written about them for some not safe for work art that they drew in their free time on their personal account. For example, there was an instance where someone made a call-out post for multiple people who work for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which gave us the amazing gem that is these turtles are underage. But this also caused a lot of distress for the animators involved. Just like how Fanties may target fan artists and cause new harassment campaigns on the same fan artist every couple of months, there are some industry people who are commonly targeted by Fanties too. And even though these people are industry artists, they're much smaller than the people that I've talked about in this video. It takes a lot of people to bring an animated show to life, and not every one of them is going to have a huge Twitter presence or be well known among the fandom that they animate for. Most of them are just artists trying to make a living and earning a paycheck doing what they love. And these smaller artists, being lower on the totem pole, so to speak, they don't always have the following to back them up and support them when Fanties start a smear campaign about them. Allegations from Fanties are especially detrimental to these artists. It's affecting their line of work, their livelihood, their income, their mental health. I am not even mentioning these incidents at all for the safety of the artists involved because they've been through enough as it is with being harassed and accused of stuff every few months or weeks because of art that they drew in their personal time. I don't think it's happened yet, but someone may even get fired for this stuff. Calling someone a pedophile is a very serious accusation, and it's gonna lead to them being investigated in their workplace. And then what? The police realize the accusations were all made over some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle porn art, and congrats, you just wasted law enforcement resources and wasted everyone's time and ruined that person's whole month, so way to go. But seriously, this needs to stop. It is getting absolutely ridiculous at this point, and it is already negatively impacting people. Stop trying to ruin people's lives over drawings of fictional characters who don't exist and can't be harmed. If you are uncomfortable by stuff, that is fine. Dude, I am uncomfortable by a lot of ships and like tropes and stuff that I don't want to see. You have to do what you have to do to avoid it, to curate your fandom space. But harassing people and accusing them of things, that's not it. That's not how you handle it at all. If you are one of those people who finds himself harassing someone because they retweeted fan art of a quote-unquote bad ship, I am begging you to go outside and touch some grass. And I hope for your sake that the COVID vaccine also has a dose of common sense in it. And that is it. That's the video. I don't know how to end this. I just saw that adult coated frog made a comeback the other day and I was like, oh lord, not this again. I have to talk about it. So thank you for watching. I hope you take care, everyone. Bye.